What's going on, everybody? It's Childish. We're back at it again. We got ourselves the next subscriber showcase episode. Subscriber showcase? The hell are you talking about, man? Right? That's how long it's been. We haven't done these one in a minute, but it just so happened that one of our subscribers have found us. So what are we talking about? Okay, the subscriber showcase. That was a series that I created many moons ago, where I gave you guys the opportunity to get your arena defense showcased on my channel. Basically, what you did was shoot me an email at childish402@gmail.com when you found me in the arena and hit me. Basically shoot me that email so that I know that you hit me, and then if I'm available, if I just so happen to be available at my house and able to record for you, I can go ahead and do that. Obviously, I've kind of stayed away from this because my whole recording process has changed and I cannot record on the fly anymore. But again, it just so happened that he attacked me. Foible attacked me here on the very bottom, and I just barely caught him after I got off work. So we're going to do things a little bit different than we did before. We're going to show the actual arena fight firsthand, and then we'll take a look at his AD, setup and strategy when it comes to the runes, and see if we can make any necessary changes. So first, what we got here is, it looks like he is projecting a very fast Wusa here, and I like that kind of concept here, trying to get that immunity, get that shield up there. This is definitely going to make it more of a pain for those devolutions to kill, but they still can take down the Fae. Now, I'm not going to bring the devolutions in this mix. I want to kind of slow the attack down, but I will bring one of my favorite units out there to provide a little buff removal, and I definitely want to bring Orion here to assist my Iris here with the buff removal. Because as you can see right here, he's definitely projecting that Wusa. I mean, I'm thinking that he's projecting that he wants to be really fast and get the first turn with regards to immunity. But immunity is not going to mean anything to me. We're going to go ahead and take it down. With regards to a DPS, I think what I want to go ahead and do is I want to bring. We'll go with Leica. We'll go with Leica. Or you know what? Yeah, we'll go with Leica. If I can find him here. Where's he at? Where's he at? Where's he at? He's hiding. He's hiding. There we go. And then we'll give that fire MK a little target here. We'll give him a little Chasoon action. Give our units an attack buff, and let's see where we go. Okay? So, let them have the first turn, and then we're going to focus down that Fae. That Fae is going to be the big damage dealer here. Looks like that Fae has some pretty decent speed as well. She's not messing around. Let's see what we can do to just basically stop her. Faye's not going to be able to use any skills, so I could leave her be, but I don't know if it's on a violent set or whatnot, so let me just go ahead and try to take her out and get it done. Alrighty. So far, so good. We are taking quite a bit of damage from that wind beast monk, but that is all right. It's going to take us a little bit longer to take him down, but I'm okay with that. I'll tell you what, my man. The violent procs are getting it done. I'm going to have to do some work. I'm going for the wind beast monk versus the fire MK, simply for the fact that the fire MK is just going to do, I mean, he's already doing great damage. The last thing I want to do, if I can't get the one shot on him, the last thing I want to do is go ahead and basically up his passive here. Right now, if I can get the first attack here, I could probably take him out. But now that Wusa got the shield, this is going to be a little harder. I think I'm still going to go with Ritesh here. I got the attack buff and the shield. It looks like we got it done. Even with the shield, wow, we still got 43k DPS. So what that tells me is that Ritesh's defense is relatively low. So we'll see if my assumption is correct when we take a look at the runes. God bless the Fallen Blossoms here. Chasoon is OP. We already know that. Let's see if that Fire MK is going to allow me to get the turn before he goes, so I can keep that defense break on. And no, we are not. But we'll go ahead and still try to wreck him. Again, another misclick, 2 misclicks, clicking the Fire MK when I shouldn't be attacking him, just allowing him to get a little bit more DPS here. But overall, as you can see, we're still going to be able to kind of get this done. All right. Oh, I did it again. I can't help myself but to keep on clicking that Fire MK. I don't like Wusa. That's what it is. I just don't like Wusa. No big deal. No big deal. All right. OP. Fallen Blossoms. OP. Okay, can this be enough even with the attack buff? All right, we got it. So we'll go ahead and auto this one out here. Just overall assumptions. Early on, Wusa is definitely going to be projecting the first turn, but he is in a Conquer 2, Conquer 3 kind of range. So unless he has utilize basically his fastest runes. People at his particular level that are focusing, on those speed-based type of clears are definitely going to put him to the test when it comes to speed. I believe he was pushing anywhere from. It felt like anywhere in the in the 240, probably 245 range before the speed lead, or actually that could have been with a speed lead, like 230 with a speed lead. That's what I'm gonna guess. Right around 230, 235 with the speed lead there. Um, and then of course, because he's getting the first turn with immunity and shield. After that, the units are not speeding, so he's essentially allowing people to do whatever it is they can do. And so early on, immunity, people can buff strip, people can just try to Lucian. You'll see what we can do. So let's go ahead and take a look at his monster box and runes, and we'll kind of discuss it as it unfolds here. All right, we're back once again. Let's go ahead and take a look at his arena defense here. We got ourselves Faye, the Dark Kung Fu Girl. We got the Fire MK. We got Ritesh, Wind Beast Monk, and last but not least, we got ourselves Wusa. So let's take a look at the first unit here. Faye, the Dark Kung Fu Girl. He's running a speed, crit damage, attack here. Stats overall, 13k HP. Speed is good. Crit rate, crit damage is good. But the overall stats here is kind of lackluster here. And when you look at the composition overall, while I understand what he's trying to project getting that first turn and making sure that he can get the shield and immunity up. In this particular situation, because of the fact that you're using, second tier runes or secondary runes in this particular unit, in the Conquer ranks, a 220 Wusa is not going to be able to compete, even with the 24 speed leader skill. At this particular stage of the game, I see a lot of people with the 250, 260, 265, even 270 plus Bernards. So a Bernard Mega Devolution is still going to be able to counter this all day. They're not going to be too concerned about the Fire MK in there because it is only one fire unit. It's not going to deter the devolutions, which ultimately should be one of the focuses that you have on your particular defense here. So we'll take a look at some of the options here that you got down the road. But when it comes to Faye, I'm not really too thrilled about her stats overall. Her being like that kind of low HP kind of damage dealing unit where you have to focus on speed, attack, critical rate, critical damage. You have to focus on so many offensive stats that it's so hard to throw her in the mix of three different units that are rocking, in that 30 to 40k range. She just doesn't fit well. She's going to get focused on first. Even with a shield, even if she has that Wusa shield or whatnot, she still can get one-shotted, with regards to, a multitude of different combinations that can come at her. So next one up, let's take a look at the Fire MK. MK here. Once again, the runes are just lackluster here. Defense, crit damage, attack. I can see that you're making this. You're putting runes together in a situation that probably you're utilizing it in like your Rift of Worlds team. When it comes to this particular aspect, this kind of goes back to just like the foundation of what you're trying to do when you're looking to progress. As you guys know, getting in your when you start to really get into the game and start developing into the game, there's going to be a lot of things that you can do, and you have to try to figure out what is your priority, what is the main focus of what you're trying to do. Fire MK is an amazing unit for the Rift of Worlds. His passive really shines. It allows you to kind of go in that kind of hybrid, kind of tankier fashion, but still put out a lot of DPS because of the fact that you're going to have that passive kind of build up that attack power over time. That being said, this is one of those key units that you can build in a certain way, but if you build it for a particular PvE aspect like Rift of Worlds, you're going to find yourself at a loss with this particular unit if it is in that YOLO fashion, paired with a lot of those like bruiser type units. This is one of those situations where while it makes sense, it may make sense to have like a fire kind of unit to try to deter those Lucians. The fact that it is sub 20k HP means nothing, and the only fire unit on there means nothing for the Lucians that are going to come at it. So if you do decide to play around with this Fire MK down the road in the arena defense, I definitely would look in making it a little bit more tanky. Not just, I mean, the defense is great, but the HP, would obviously be a little bit better. If it can't take a single Lucian hit, which it could possibly, it could potentially happen. 2 out of the 3 hits could definitely swipe this unit away. You definitely want to, consider making it tanky. But let's go back to the drawing board here. If we're focused on Rift of Worlds, and PvE should be the priority over PvP, because that's where you get your units, your runes, your grindstones, and whatnot. Then do what you got to do to make your PvE unit on point, and then let's take a look at some different options for you when it comes to that arena defense side, okay? Let's take a look here. We got WUSA. Okay, so WUSA overall, decent speed, decent HP. We can't get mad about that. I like the stats overall there. You're running a Nemesis Shield Wheel, speed, HP. I think the speed, HP is the way to go. You definitely want it to be as fast as possible while maintaining as much tankiness as possible. As you guys know, it has a second skill that's going to provide you that damage based on your max HP, as well as healing based on your max HP as well. And so, when it comes to this particular unit here, I already kind of mentioned it already. This is one of those units that if you decide to play around with it on the arena defensive side, you definitely have the makings of a strong first turn, damage preventer, immunity preventer, like harmful effect preventer, everything. It has a really nice kit. That being said, if you're really trying to be competitive at the range that you're currently at, you will need to consider prioritizing some of your faster swift sets on this particular unit. 220 speed is pretty darn good for a WUSA, but at your level versus the typical, Bernard, Megan, Devolution or whatnot, this is still going to do work. You do have a Nemesis set on it, and you do have quite a bit of speed on it. There is a possibility of them being able to, you being able to interrupt them or whatnot, but that's still something that you definitely don't want to bank on. I definitely would prefer you trying to run like a Swift Nemesis set with a little bit more speed, 30 to 40 more speed, with the situation is going to allow you to get that first turn. And if you don't get that first turn, you're going to be able to cut in between that Lucian if he does a decent amount of damage, and then get that immunity with a shield up. But overall, yeah, I like the sets overall. But again, when we're looking at the composition that you kind of bring in hand, if you want to be competitive, I think it has to have a little bit more speed. So consider that down the road when you're making the necessary changes here. Okay, so we've done Faye, WUSA, Mihao Wang. Let's take a look at the Ritesh. Now, the Ritesh, after looking at this particular unit, this is the one that I really feel you've done an amazing job with this unit here. For those who are not familiar with Ritesh, right, we got the Wind Beast Monk here, speed, HP. You guys have seen a ton of Beast Monks. If you've seen my Beast Monk, you've seen him build HP, crit damage, HP. I enjoy with the hybrid, or like with the damage dealing kind of a bruiser style Beast Monk here. But when it comes to Ritesh, a unit is going to provide you the defense break, a unit is going to provide you a heal, provoke. I mean, just a really good amount of utility. I feel like he's one of those units that I would generally build in a speedy support type fashion, especially when you're considering it for the defensive aspect here. Obviously, if you're one of those people that has, amazing runes that allows you to get the high speed, the high HP, the good critical rate and critical damage, then go with it. But if you can't, make those changes there, I like what he did here. I like the high HP with the high speed and a decent amount of critical rate because, again, as you guys know, first skill, when you critically hit, you get that attack speed buff, which is crucial on generating those quick turns, through and through. Overall, there's really nothing to break down this particular unit. I would not build this in a crit damage fashion. I would build it in a way that's going to allow you to just get more turns over time and try to win by attrition. I think you've done a really good job here. But again, regardless of how good you build one unit, and let me put this out there for people again, regardless of however you build, one good unit, if it doesn't mesh, if it doesn't synergize with the rest of your team, it means nothing here. Like when we take a look at this particular unit here, we got ourselves 177 speed, and so I can see here why he might have had around that same kind of speed, right? We got a unit here that's bringing 175 speed, so right, that makes sense. We got the Ritesh and then the Faye going after, but again, considering the speed that he's bringing, considering what kind of teams are going to go at him, having 3 units in that neutral wind or water element, and then the typical people that are bringing the Bernard, Meg, and Devolution, it's going to be kind of hard to take full advantage of this speed tuning here. So I personally would try to figure out what you can do to try to add a little bit more deterrent to this, or play around with some of your finest units out there that can essentially push people to the limits when it comes to that speed aspect here. So looking at your team overall, right, we've already kind of done a big assessment on it. As far as the options go, when I think about the bruiser kind of stall options, I don't think you have a lot of options here. I mean, you have a lot of great arena defense units that could shine. I mean, you got Wusa, you got Orion, you got the Fire MK, Ritesh. At that particular level here, you do still see a lot of Vermoses, played around with that. But then again, you're not, it's obviously not, your priority. You don't have this one built. Ultimately, I don't think you have right now the right combination of units and runes to really make a successful kind of a stall defense here, in my humble opinion. That being said, overseeing your Bernard, I don't know what you use on the arena offensive side, but when I look at your team here, when I look at a Bernard, when I look at a Lucian like this, that you have a way of basically getting. I mean, this is very, very uncommon at the Conqueror level, mind you. At the Conqueror level, it is very uncommon to get yourself in that almost 3K range of attack with 175 plus speed, and then have this kind of critical rate, critical damage that you have here. Generally speaking, when you're running Lucians that have to be speed tuned and whatnot, you subtract some of that attack power, and so it still doesn't get that damage out. But overall, this solution is really good. So if I had to make a guess, because of the fact that I see you have one single Lucian and whatnot, if I had to make a guess, I would think that you run on the offensive side. You run like a Faye, like Bernard, X Lucian, where X could be Orion, X could be Megan, X could be a lot of things here. Megan would probably be the optimal one here, so you can get that attack buff here. So, when I think about that, definitely consider the aspect of what I've talked about in my last R5 and Chill video, where you go ahead and play around with that that YOLO comp. I'm not a big fan of Galen with that one, but again, when you look at when you look at what you have available, what you look at what you can focus on, if you can't prioritize your best runes on your defensive type of units to allow you to really catch people off guard, why not? Why not push the people to the envelope? Why not people think twice about taking your team down, right? While I would definitely, have them take a look at a stall comp, with some kind of arena or Freya or something like that, and be like, oh wow, I ain't trying to mess with this. Let me walk away. I would still, consider the concept of playing around with that speed comp, because I know that any given team, right, can derp, but a speed comp, when you're running a 292 Bernard speed comp here, you can definitely push people to the limit, because of the fact that you are running a 24% speed lead, and you do have a well-runed Lucian here. Obviously, people can try to counter it with some kind of a bruiser type of fire-based team or whatnot to kind of counter that Lucian. But again, you're following up with that Faye, So that Faye, if that Lucian, takes some of the units down a little bit, that Faye could potentially finish up, and hopefully if Lucian could take out one of the units there, Faye can kind of finish up and kind of clean house here. But yeah, overall, that's kind of my assessment of that. Hope you guys enjoy. I hope that for some of you that are watching the video that didn't get an opportunity, or this is not your account or whatnot. Hopefully, you took some things away, as there's a lot of situations out there where people try to really combine and clash different types of breeds of units out there. And while it may make a sense to you, looking at it outside, you got to really think about your opponent. Think at the level of what your opponent could do. How would you attack it? Put your defense up. Talk to your guildies and be like, hey, take a look at this defense. How would you counter it? How would you go about exploiting it? And hear them out. See what they would do. And if they have, if you get the opinion of 5, 10, 20, 25 people's way of they counter you, and you see some common the denominators here, that's what you got to do. That's what you got to figure out. Try to counter those common denominators and see what you can do. The bruiser type of thing, I love it. I love messing around with it. But when it comes to Faye, a squishy type of unit, this is definitely going to put a target on her. Definitely go for her. And again, if you're really, really focused on the defense, you're really going to have to prioritize some moves. And that may take away from different other concepts that you're trying to do, whether it's arena offense, whether it's your Winter Worlds team, so on and so forth. So again, guys, hopefully you guys got something out of that. If you did, do me the favor, do me an honor, smash that like button. Again, the subscriber showcase series, even though I haven't done one in a very long time, it never went away. You guys can always shoot me an email at childish402@gmail.com with the subject line subscriber showcase. And if I happen to be off work, believe me, I will definitely record it. I will definitely try to do as many reviews as I can possible, because I know that you guys really enjoy reviews, and so that's what I'm about. All right, that is it, guys. Thank you all so much for tuning in for this episode of Subscriber Showcase. It's your boy Childish from ChildishPlays checking out. Take care, and we will see you next time, guys. We're out.